good impression. But
So
she didn't.
taking over this call today and running it, so I'm going to turn it to her, who's going to turn it to attunement, and we're on record. June 1st, 2020.
Glenn,
I guess we're being a little playful today.
We are being playful.
I moved my parrot downstairs because we had it on our FaceTime calls with my grandson. I usually have a parrot.
Glenn's going to bring us into some resonance because he wasn't a part of, he's so pure and clean and refreshingly bringing that aloha ohana spirit into our field.
So let's just take a breath together, and maybe you'll hear some birds in the background from here. Who knows? So let's just take a breath together. Yeah, hand over your heart maybe if you like. And another. So let's appreciate this moment of transformational breath as we unfold and emerge our next right step. Just starting where we are today and going forward with that's what universe is bringing forward and emerging through us as we just take our next right steps. And appreciate the abundance and capacity that we're all expanding into. Just gets bigger and bigger and bigger still. And we're just figuring it out and holding on. So with that, I'm complete.
Thank you, Glenn. Surfing the big waves. So welcome everyone to our advisory council meeting. And I want to just welcome Sharon, who is here as a guest, just feeling into the overview of the advisory council. She's been an incredible help to me inside of the connection field. For the past 2 weeks has been helping me take a look at all these pieces that were just like octopus tentacles all over the place and helping to just get things organized in a way that can create ease and for myself specifically right now, and also as part of this super organism for good of the whole, to really support creating greater coherence, for this expression to keep building and keep growing. And just like you were saying, Glenn, just it is expanding and over the past 10 weeks has been expanding so fast and so furiously that in order for me it's more than sustainable. And I think it's this, I can speak for all of us, it's really about regenerative. So it's regenerative. So it can self-organize itself. The more we become aligned in that resonant frequency, then it can keep doing its thing, and that surfing that wave can become something quite enjoyable, even though these are really chaotic times. And I think a lot of what has been coming into good of the whole, normal, as something with all that's going on with the protests and all kinds of stuff, that we are needing to become really even stronger light beacons. I'll just say that for now, just helping people navigate this cultivation of wholeness, this sensation that they're having, why they're being continually attracted more and more into this field, and make it and help it to be a joyful experience for not just the people coming in, but for those of us that are holding the field, that nobody is feeling tweaked or off balance, that we all are being self-nurtured in a way that supports the good of the whole, both the organism and the organization. So taking a breath with that. So so today we're here to come back in and take a look at that, and maybe each have a sharing so that we can just see what's emerging in the field for each one of us as an advisory council member. Also, if you're holding a part of the whole, like Linda holding the bio, just a little report on moving forward, what's sitting there. Glenn, you have the Ohana Legacy Foundation. I can express from the connection field. And with Sharon's help, Sharon, you can feel that you're a part of us here. And if you are seeing something or feeling something, you can be a great listener. At the same time, you're welcome to be here, because I just want to say what Sharon has to offer in terms of changing management. Am I saying that right?
Change management.
Change management. Yeah, that change management. And that's where she's helping me. So, and anything specific about the connection field or how we can do things better, let's leave that after the shares. And I want to share more of that afterwards. So, Julie, is there anything else you would want to add in? And we want to talk about, and Glenn wanted to bring something in, but I wanted to explain a little bit more about the password change and how that's going to happen. And, Glenn had something to say about it. Yeah, anything else, Julie, that you want to, and then moving towards Unity Week, what's really up around? Julie, maybe you can share that when you're in your share. So.
Yeah, I really wanted to talk about the organizational structure, but I'm not going to do that today. And there's so much on the connection field right here that needs to be addressed. And then also the mentoring stewards language. I had a question about that. If we're adding things to the agenda right now, those are the only two things I would add.
The mentoring stewards, what'd you say?
The language that Glenn.
Oh yeah, right. That, okay, so let's, we'll bring that, we'll follow with that as well. So did that get sent out to everyone, Glenn? Okay, I didn't send it to Sharon. Okay.
Although yours bounced when it went to Shelley at .org. So
yeah,
I don't know if you actually saw it or not.
That's all, believe it's all worked out now, hopefully. But
yeah. Last week it was the .org emails didn't go through, and this week, and it was Julie at juliekroll.com didn't go through. So it's been a fun week of emails. So yeah, that's it, Shell, for now.
Okay. So let's just take a breath and just take a moment of gratitude for how everyone's showing up so beautifully and, I mean, actually magnificently. Glenn hosting, Linda hosting, lots more. John working on the documents and hosting, and yeah, really beautiful. So thank you. Beside being on the advisory council, working on stuff. So, okay, I'm complete and whole.
Hey, Shelley, I'm realizing I have one other thing I want to talk about that I haven't really talked to you about, but that I've been in communication with Elizabeth Rogers related to the water stuff she does. I connected her up with my husband, who has done a lot in law of the sea and international law with water. So he's now hooking up with this World Water Council. But I think I mentioned this a long time ago. He has a project which we had thought about turning into a nonprofit and have not done, called Marine Defenders. And so in conversation with Elizabeth, that came up again. And we once again thought that it could be a project within good of the whole. And therefore the donations and the different things that could come to Marine Defenders could also support good of the whole. So that's another piece that we haven't really talked about, but that I want to just bring up for awareness. That could happen. You're on mute. You're on mute.
I said, thank you. And that's part of what Glenn's going to bring in his reporting about the DBA, because that's all tied to that.
Okay.
Right, and I would say I'd love to talk about organizational structure. In a sense, I feel like we're getting really sucked down the hole of the connection field, and we really need to look at generating revenue and the business side of good of the whole. So.
I would just like to change that languaging. I'm not getting sucked down the hole. It is, but and at the same time.
It's just taking a lot of energy.
So I think maybe, why don't we just say that next week coming together will be specifically, and if there's time today, let's just say that next week, specifically for the advisory council, Julie, you can respond to this as well. The organizational structure and the business side of good of the whole, unless it comes up in somebody's sharing. But
Yeah. Well, the point is we just lose another week of revenue generation. That's all.
maybe or maybe not. Let's just see what comes out. And why don't you bring up whatever is moving through you? Why don't you just go? Bring up what's moving for you.
Okay, a couple of things then that I'll share about. One, I think I sent out to each of you a thing from Mark Porteous around supporting a product launch with Deborah Poneman. And the question is, would we want to participate in supporting product launches that would generate revenue for good of the whole when they're coming from a source that we vet and respect and think is a good idea? And how is it we maybe integrate that into our basically use network to make people. In this particular case, Deborah's new course, and so that's maybe a topic for discussion. But that launch is coming up here in June, and so the question might be is when do we address that, and do we want to use that as an example of a revenue generation activity for us? So there's that thing, and if for some reason you haven't looked at that, I can send it again so you can take a look at that. But that's an emerging possibility that happens in a couple of weeks, and so if we want to do something like that, then we need to jump on it and put it in our network. Secondly, with the Ohana Legacy Foundation, Sharon, Ohana Legacy Foundation is a good of the whole initiative doing business as Ohana Legacy Foundation. So we've done the research with the state of Nebraska, where good of the whole is incorporated, and we can have an infinite number of doing business as different brands.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we've started, and I think Julie, you maybe can report on this, but I think you indicated you've initiated the doing business as filing with the state of Nebraska. And I think that's a pretty immediate effect in that soon we'll have a document that we can print off, I guess, that says that we're DBA with from good of the whole to this. And then it just establishes this Ohana Legacy Foundation as a different brand. So monies can come in to, a donation can be made to either good of the whole or to the Ohana Legacy Foundation and deposited into our accounts as that then the good of the whole bookkeeping system will track and manage. Beyond that, There's a organization called the Presencing Institute that Otto Schrammer has put together, Theory U. And that institute has thousands of people who've been getting on their calls over the last months. And coming up next week, they're going to have a virtual conference, of which Ohana Legacy Foundation is going to be one of the hubs that's going to be represented in that conference. In fact, I think that comes up maybe next. It's coming up, I think, this coming Thursday. So I'll be representing us and the hub and describing what we're doing to that population of folks. On beyond that, here we're still in Kauai, the Ohana Legacy Foundation. We're in searching for a site, and there's about 15 people, I guess, that are on the team for Ohana Legacy Foundation that are working on various aspects of that organization that that I'm facilitating. So I guess the Legacy Foundation is becoming more visible. And so we'll see how that goes. Let's see what happens there. So that's Legacy Foundation. We have architects. I met Ricardo is our primary architect on the foundation. He's in Jakarta. And last week I spent an hour on a phone call with one of his partners who's in London, who's totally aligned with what we're creating and really could see how this could serve the UK. So again, it's just keeps expanding in terms of what we're doing and the potential for shifting the way we look at housing in our world, and having that central thread of resonance that flows through everything that attracts people to this kind of housing that we're talking about. Is there anything else around that I can think of? I think I'm complete.
Beautiful, thank you. Pop in.
Are any questions?
Well, let's
Or do
hold
we
off.
hold that till later?
Yeah, let's just let people kind of share. And
Well, I would like to welcome Sharon. It's like I thought you were on the advisory council forever when I saw you here, because I see you on Facebook a lot, and it just feels so wonderful to have you on the advisory council. So, and thank you, Glenn, because you and Marion introduced me to Sharon. We were colleagues together learning revolutionary agreements. So, yeah, something was coming up. Well, I'll get to that in a minute. I wanted to follow what Glenn was saying that was coming up for me. You began talking about the Ohana Legacy Foundation to people, and now you have a team of 15, and now it's starting to manifest. So you put the idea out there and you start talking about it. And I am feeling very strongly about putting the idea of Pachamama Pajamas out there and to begin to just talk about it and get people excited, because nobody really knows about it. And I think it will develop just by putting it out there and having people come forward and working together with it. So, and I'm happy to be the hub of the wheel for that as it, as the spokes begin to form. So I just wanted to bring that up to everyone here and see if that's something that we want to talk about in with a special title in the connection field or in one of the offerings, or the digest, or, you know, I would like to actually have a Zoom, you know, an interactive thing about it, and all the concepts that come under that. And right now, you know, so if anybody has things to add to that, that's just been on my mind to sort of launch that
So,
just
Lynn,
by talking about it.
so just for the help of Sharon, so are you saying you're feeling the same thing as Glenn, so the Ohana Legacy Foundation doing business as Good of the Whole, that's, you're holding that in the same way?
Yeah.
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 I just wanted to make, you know, just help, just keep things really,
Yeah. So Pachamama, just what Ohana and what Glenn said, I wrote down. Pachamama Pajamas would be a Good of the Whole initiative doing business as Pachamama Pajamas, right? But it's all really for Good of the Whole. It's a Good of the Whole.
right.
And then it would be DBA. And the other thing I just wanted to kind of report on is that I'm working on all of the bits and pieces of bios that are coming in for the mentoring stewards and the pictures, but I don't know. I mean, I'll put it on a Word document, and then once that's complete, send it as that folder to Julie.
No, you're going to send it to me.
You, okay.
And I'm going to go through it and just make sure everything's there. Once that's set, then, and it doesn't, you know, I'm sure they'll be missing pieces, but when you have like a chunk of it, in fact, in the next 2 days, I'm going to work with Jess and begin to show it to her and begin to teach her how to put it up on the website. So,
Oh,
and of
good.
course, I'll be talking to Julie up, and for me, it's just getting someone who will take that and putting it up on the website is a major deal. And then we can link it to the digest.
Okay.
Or actually, you know how we left it? Sorry. We left it that you and I were going to talk once you had that Excel sheet done.
Mm-hmm.
Go through it, take a look at it, make sure it's right, and then we'll bring those two pieces. You know, the Excel sheet needs to match the bios, and then we can put it up on the website. So that's the best way that.
Okay, because there's a lot of people now who are paying the dues, the membership, but they haven't sent anything in. So I want to follow through. The new ones that you've been sending me have an email and a phone number for each person, but the earlier people don't have that. So
Okay, so that's why you and I need to sit down once you feel like you've got the Excel sheet current, which you probably do actually.
yeah, I think
And
I
you
do.
and I just need to go through it and go check. This person's paying. This person's a trade. Let's, you know, and then we'll find someone because actually, yeah, I have somebody who can make phone calls to those people.
Okay,
And
because I don't even have all their phone numbers.
that's all right. Well, whatever you have, if you feel like you've got a bulk done,
Okay.
let's just go through it. And I can probably fill in with a lot of those phone numbers.
Okay, great. So that's coming along, and the bios and the what have you. But I'd love to contact everyone about their bios and pictures. And, you know, I'm trying. So that's all I have to report about that.
Okay, I'll jump in then. I am interested about, I did read Glenn, the product launch for, and I can't remember the woman's name. I just briefly went over what programs she wanted to offer, which brought up a whole thing for me around the vetting thing. Is that person or any people that would bring in a product to Good of the Whole truly aware of what Good of the Whole is and resonance and all of that? Or is that really important if what we're doing, which brings me to the second part of the store. I've run the store across a couple of people and they think it's just a great idea to have a store. And so, and to offer products like that as well as material products that are appropriate for our needs, which brought me to the next piece of right now, all of us and others that are offering these services through, including you and Marion, and including Linda, including all of us, Julie, the products that we're offering right now, which I think is obviously totally appropriate because it's growing good of the whole, at some point, would we, if we develop those offerings into a workshop or a whatever it might be, would those then be, and if we had a store set up, would we transfer, and we wanted to continue doing what we're doing, transfer those products and launch them through Good of the Whole store? So that, I think there's a multiple pieces around that whole thing that could really come together, I think, and be a very valuable process for all concerned, because I do know that these products are being offered, not our products necessarily, but obviously products are being offered all the time, and people are signing up and paying for the service, paying for the teachings or whatever it might be. And so I'm just wondering, at some point, would we make that available to our mentoring stewards that are offering, world-class information as well as material things through the store? So that's one thing I just wanted to take a look at, and time frame for that, when that shift may happen. And then the other thing is, Glenn, I just want to say to you that I apologize for not being able to get on the Ohana calls on Tuesday afternoon, because I really wanted to do that. And I keep thinking about grants. I don't know, has anybody through Ohana been searching for grants for such housing projects that could pop right into it? I'm assuming that probably already has happened, but I'm asking that question. And then I think that's it for me. Just some curiosity there. But I'm just absolutely fascinated right now. And I know, Glenn, would you call it a sinkhole or whatever it was around the, I don't know what the call is, but I'm gonna let that go and just say that the connection field in and of itself is a product, really. And could be developed into all kinds of things. And so I do think it needs, or it deserves some attention, but we don't want to sink I agree with you. It's not the only thing we have going. Certainly something that is being refined. As I search around, I've seen nothing out there like what we're doing. So I think it's a very positive, unique, and valuable experience. That's what I have. I'm done.
How about just one more thing? So how about just one more thing about just informing the field of your offering about the orientation piece and why you feel that that's really important, and how you see it, because that's a really important piece for.
Are you talking to me? I think it's incredibly important, because even though people say they've got it, they don't got it. A lot of people get on, and we've seen examples of it in our recent history here. I don't want to say it's appalling, because everybody, has something they want to say, but, to make the differentiation between have this being a teaching tool, because everybody wants to teach. A lot of people want to teach. They have knowledge. They want to offer that knowledge in good service. But I just feel a really good orientation around the residence lounge, the hosting, and some basic guidelines, I think would be very, 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 very valuable, because I think it can get quite frustrating. I think some people are that have some residents to offer, don't get in on our calls, because some people are doing this other thing. And I think there should be a way to deal with that. Go ahead, Cheryl.
So obviously, yes. And do you see this being an hour call or an hour and a half call? Is an hour enough? So basically what we're seeing, obviously, is that just kind of tying this up a little bit, that there needs to be a protocol for people coming in to once they have been in the resident field and they're excited and they want to bring forth their expression. But even anyone who just comes in, we offer once a week. This is what I'm hearing. You can say probably an hour orientation with John. Henry's wanting to be a part of that, to really inform them of be an informant for the field about good of the whole resonance. They would receive some documents on resonance, and then once they have that, and there would be a protocol. We already have a small one, but we haven't really emphasized it, but we absolutely need to emphasize it before, so people know that they're not just going to get a slot just because they want a slot. They need to understand, come in, experience good of the whole and some of these calls, and then they can offer, once they, and probably talk to one of us before they are slotted into the calendar, so that everything is again regenerative and clear.
Yeah. Glenn?
And I guess I would see that as a repetitive program every week.
Yeah.
It would be for the new people coming in or for the old people that want a refresher. Is that how you're holding it?
And would it be specifically for mentoring stewards? It's not for everybody.
Only for the mentoring steward. And what I forgot about was this Wednesday is a public call. So I was planning on, bringing in this information, and then also we were planning on it, and that to go through the hosting document with every one of the mentoring stewards. But I think it's got to go really, I'll give a little bit, but I think it's got to go for the following week to really, and to allow the connection field to, put down its full legs, so to speak, with the connection field team this week. And so that's kind of how it's definitely got to be repetitive.
So let me throw this out. I've obviously given it some thought. One is, I think, unless there is a great influx, I think an hour and a half once every 2 weeks. So no, you want it every week?
I don't think it'll work because as the field is, we can feel into it, but as it's because of the expanse and the new people that are coming in, it would mean that people would be really waiting to understand good of the whole. And I don't think it has to be you every time. I think it's, you figure out what's important and create an outline so that, it doesn't have to be you, but I think we need.
Okay, all right, that's fine. And then the second part of that is that I'm sorry, I don't have those notes in front of me. I've made some notes around. I kind of feel like part of it is making sure everybody's read it, but also I feel like having a couple of the recorded videos of the really good pieces, like the really good resonance beginning of the hour for hosting, let's say, where we have a really, because some people kind of get it, some people don't, some people are not doing it at all. We have hosts on there right now that aren't even doing anything, right?
Yeah. So
I just kind of feel and make that a constant. So like every week when we do an hour orientation, we can say, okay, here is a model for you to look at. And if that's why I was saying maybe an hour and a half, and really, if there's 10 people coming in, that probably wouldn't work. But really allowing someone to actually do a resonance as a training piece. I don't know. I'm just throwing these things out.
Okay, let's keep going just for time-wise.
Yeah.
Obviously, really important. It's important that we do this. Right.
Shelley, do you want to talk about the connection field next, where you are with the team?
I want to make sure everyone has shared. Linda shared. Julie, do you want to jump in and share at this point, or where are you at? You're on mute.
Go ahead with the connection field. That feels like it's the natural extension. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Again, just honoring everyone who has stepped forward so far, and it's a beautiful thing, and it is been in its experimental stages as well as something that's very viable. Whatever we thought, I don't even think we really knew when was this going to end or what was going to happen, but it's definitely, as everyone's been saying, it is a program within Good of the Whole that even with some discussion with some right people, I mean, we could see even getting a grant for that for the program, because we have all these indigenous people coming in and participating. And so anyway, I just really simply, I don't want to get into a lot of detail, but I feel like that I'm beginning to balance out a little bit finally. And with Sharon's help, like I said, I feel that things are falling into place, and a connection field team has been birthed as of it is. I was working on it all last week, but it's been birthed, and I'll look at having these people come together next week, and yeah, or even the end of this week, we'll see. And if anyone here, and basically to relieve some of us as the advisory council to do more of what we need to be doing. So I'm looking right now. I have, I believe I have 7 people, and Linda, I have to talk to you because you are one of them, but we'll talk about that, who have offered to be an overseer, a coordinator of 1 day a week. And they would be the contact person, and they would be the overseer of that day. They're not expected to come in every hour on the hour, but they are the ones who would be contacted if there was any changes or shifts or whatever. And then if they had problems, they would come to me instead of me. So essentially this is relieving me, because it's just been way too much. And at the same time, I'm so grateful, and I get this is the voice of wholeness coming through. It's giving people access in a way, like everyone's been saying. There's all these amazing programs and conferences and summits, but this is the toroidal field coming back in and folding itself in that full embodiment, and people really feeling, I have just completely activated in ways that they never have, and I think that's the beauty of the connection field, which I totally see is exactly what everyone's been talking about here. In terms of a product, yeah, this is moving into the education. All these people, the ones, however we decided, or we look at it as an advisory council, this is the education product. These people will be offering their services, and it could even be 3 weeks from now, could be start out with donation, like an actual donation for each special offering, so that's definitely up in conversation. And I do still feel like that's part of next week's call, which is talking, because we need to have Julie speak about the organizational structure. Again, making sure, bringing us up to date if the documents have been updated, sending it out before that call, and we can just completely focus on that. But as far as the connection field, I have someone and I'm going to work with her to be an assistant for the website to get those bios and stuff, because we have to have that. We have to have that link up so that people aren't just giving out all their own emails and come see my product, or so the product energy stays within the Good of the Whole. Henry has agreed to become the coordinator for the Residents Council, so we'll work together, and that's a real big relief off my, he's going to do all the emails and help coordinate that. And the Residents Council members have, I've talked to them this morning, and some of them are going to take some of those days, and they've offered to help make calls. So to the people that aren't getting calls back, because Julie knows, as there are people who haven't been made contact with, even though I went in and tried to find them all and make simple contact with them to keep them holding there. And Sharon's offered, and we're talking about this, something, I don't know what, you can speak for yourself, but 4 to 5 hours a week or 4 hours a week, just to come in and help, maybe even create the templates for these emails that need to go back out. But whatever, we can talk about that. And the only other thing that's sitting undone, and maybe Sharon and I can talk about this, is the calendar. So Julie, I need help understanding, again, the widget. Do we have a widget? Can it go up on the website? So that just the basic thing of how we're going to, and find somebody, and I believe that person's already there, who will help. I just need to know exactly how we're going to do it. We need to have a regular calendar that is a link from the digest to on our website, which has a calendar, instead of people having to scroll through the digest every time they're trying to figure out where to go or what's happening. They can just go to that calendar and click on it, and they'll see the description, they'll see who's doing it, and so that becomes very, very easy. And I think with that, also Julie and I have spoken. And what's going to happen, and this is really important, that I'm looking for where it is. Okay. Oh, two things. One, we're going to talk about the password, but right now, the digest. So the digest very clearly is going out on Tuesdays and Fridays. And we have to have the information. I'm saying this to myself because I have to talk to people by Monday at 11 a.m. for the Tuesday one, and Thursday at 11 a.m. for the Friday one. Anyone who is not at that cutoff point does not get put into the digest. And right now it's still Julie and myself doing it. And hopefully that changes and we find somebody to help with that. But just to be really clear, and I'll talk to the Residents Council about that. And lastly, the password. Okay, so as many of you know, we've been Zoom bombed quite a bit. And for some people, that hasn't been a lot of fun. So one way of taking care of it, which was the first step, which was to enable the waiting room. So again, every person that takes a day is going to be taught how to do Facebook Live. So I'm just reminding myself here. And how to create the waiting room. Also, you have to disable the renaming of their names, because that's one way that they get in. Once they're in, they start changing the names and you cannot catch it. It's moving very, very quickly. And on Saturday, 50 people between myself and Jose had to get rid of 50 people coming in. But I think they were all Spanish people. Obviously, they're focused on Jose or Pato or whatever. So, but without going into a lot of detail, we feel like it's time to change the password, and we're going to do that at midnight tonight. Part of the problem has been even some of the hosts have been putting out the password on Facebook, and I did it by accidental on Sunday, not realizing the link I was giving out actually was the way in. So yeah, so again, just to keep people on their toes, and as hosts that, for the hour, it's not so much in the Zoom room. If it's just the Residence Lounge, it's not really a big deal because you're not going Facebook Live, but more and more of the hosts are asking to go Facebook Live. And therefore, so we're going to change the password. I'm going to give you the password right now. So it's 441444. And so therefore, there are going to be people scrambling for the next couple of days. Just be aware of that. And the enable the waiting room only needs to be used, as far as I'm feeling, and someone else might bring up something else after I speak, is that it just needs to be used for the Facebook Live. And once you get used to it, you definitely have to keep the participants up, but it's not hard, and you just don't let in people who, anything that just says iPhone or some weird name. And Linda, she worked with the grandmothers. It's really not much of a problem. You just don't let them in if you don't. And the other way that I do it is, if there's really someone I'm going like, oh, I'm not too sure, I just take their name and I go into Facebook and see if I pop up who it is. And you usually can tell if it's somebody real or not real. That's another way. So that'll be part of a document on the hosting document. And Julie, is there anything more that I need to add about that? And I know, Glenn, you had an idea, so we definitely want to listen to that as well, because we haven't enacted the password yet.
So there are several pieces that I just want to respond to, but another important piece for the connection field is that I have my cart open right now with connectionfield.org and connectionfielddigest.org. And even just like Brother Phil called me earlier and said, what link do I give this guy? His poster's ready to go and we need to do it. And I'm like, go to the whole.com/connection_field. And he's like, underscore is that, you know? And so not to bifurcate what we're doing, but the connection field is a very autonomous project within Good of the Whole. So I haven't clicked purchase yet, but I'm thinking Good of the connectionfield.org is where they'll go to get that page on the website. It'll point to goodofthewhole.com/connection_field. So it'll be our connection field site. And goodofthewholedigest.org will point to the constant contact so they could sign up for the digest. So it'll go right to the sign up sheet. So we could say Good of the Whole, or we could say, sorry, too many words here. We could have connectionfielddigest.org to go sign up for the digest, or connectionfieldsignup.org. We could find a different one if you want it to say sign up, but to me it's real simple and clear to say connectionfielddigest.org. Shell?
Yeah, okay, because we talked about one thing. I'm confused about what you, this was originally, when we talked just a little bit ago, it was just one link so that of something very clear. And I know Glenn's smiling because he brought this up way before this. So connection field, I don't think connection field digest doesn't really describe that they're going to get the link, but in any case,
we could say connection field link or connection field sign up or something that's, if we're on a call and we say, you want to get the digest, go to connectionfieldsignup.org.
Right, but this is really important. It's to get the direct link right then and there, whatever you want to call it, instant link and the digest. It's not, if you just say digest, people are going to get, I mean, from being inside the connection field, they need to know this is where they get the link. People are only saying, where do I get that link? And they want it right away. So, so what I'm hearing is, because you said two things, but what I'm hearing is like right now it's one link to get the digest with the instantaneous link, really simple. So what you're asking is that we just pick connectionfielddigest.org, connection field link, connection field sign up. We just need something that.
Yeah, because connectionfield.org should just point to our page on the website. It shouldn't be how you're going to sign up, because you go to that page and then you can see, here's how you sign up. But if someone's on a call and you want the digest, go to this link. So we need that link that says, I'm going to sign up and get the instant link to this because I'm going to sign up for the digest. So
okay, then it makes sense just to have connection field digest, because the other thing I just want to drop in, and let's just hear from everybody else, is that if you say connection field link, you're giving it away to all the Zoom bombers. As soon as you say link, it's just like, so as long as us as hosts say, after every Resonance Lounge, this will be part of the hosting doc, that you want to say both to receive the instant Zoom link plus the bi-weekly digest. Here it is.
Yeah, go to connectionfielddigest.org. And to me, that, I think, Shell, is a really important part of the protocol for the hosting doc, because how we say that will send them there. So if you're on this call and you got in because somebody invited you and you want to come on to, or if they're on a Facebook Live, then go to connectionfielddigest.org and you'll receive the bi-weekly digest.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Glenn?
Can we get connectionfield.org?
Yeah, and
As
that
opposed to
website,
theconnectionfield.org?
we probably can.
I mean, that, you know what I'm saying? If we get rid of if we can just, maybe we can, but you can do a quick search and find out. But
I have
connectionfield.org.
I have connectionfield.org in my
Right.
shopping cart right now.
Just connectionfield.org. Got it.
Connectionfield.org.
Great.
Yeah.
And then connection field. How about connection digest? I mean, would that be even shorter?
It doesn't say what it really is. I think it needs to say Connection Field Digest.
Connection field digest. Okay,
Yeah.
.org also. Yeah, those are, you know, $5 a piece, $10 a piece for a year.
$9, and then it goes up to 20 something.
Yeah, well, we can see if we can continue it or not.
Okay.
I have a
So
question,
that's
and
everybody
I'm really not very smart when it comes to this, but could we not just have connectionfield.org, and when they go to connectionfield.org, there is the information to sign up for the digest and the
For the digest.
That's
yeah,
already there, but it's 2 links for them then. It's 2 clicks. So here's the thinking, John, and this is a really good question because connectionfield.org will go to our page. So there's 1 click, and then the very top of the page right now, it says sign up for the digest. So there's 2 clicks, and then you got to fill out your name, and then there's 3 clicks, and then they'll get the link. So the difference being that on the connectionfield.org, we have all of our program, the videos there, and we don't update it every week, which we probably should, but that's what Shelley's working on, is that everything in the digest then comes onto that page. So having Connection Field Digest reduces a click for people. So literally I click on that, I'm going to go directly into signing up for my digest, and I'll get the link right back.
And really, it's only a one-time deal. I mean, you can
Right.
actually say that one time you get the link, and of course, hopefully we don't have to keep changing the password, but we might in another 2 months decide it's time to change it again. But it makes it really simple.
got it.
When is this going to be fired up so that we can let people know?
Tonight.
So the thing about the password
Or
is that
tomorrow.
as we're putting this password out, and it's going to go out because other people are going to share it and go. So there's what I guess 2 things I guess that come to my mind is that we probably need to get on some kind of a reoccurring password change protocol because it's just going to be a matter of weeks before the password's going to be out to whoever is going to Zoom bomb it.
Can I say something to that? No, it's not true. The
Sure, all they have to do is follow the link and they'll get it.
No, but they won't sign in. They do not sign in. It's just, it's honestly, it's like these guys. I mean, really, it's guys. Sorry. It's these young guys who have nothing better to do. And they, like whatever, they're frustrated, whatever they do. And they look on Facebook. And this is where we had the problem is when we started to put it out on Facebook. And as an example, Nana Shuni, I just saw put it out on Saturday with the password. So they won't sign in to go to the hole. They're not going to go that far. So as long as, and I'm not saying 3 months from now we might decide to change it, whatever. But the main thing is if it doesn't get put on the event pages, there's no way they can find it. And they're not going to go, it would be a rare. I mean, I haven't even seen it yet. I mean, it's
So we
true.
won't.
Do we know all the people that are signing in? But mostly when you see these Zoom bombers, they have the weirdest names and they're having just iPhone. It's pretty easy to suss them out pretty much.
Okay.
And
Now,
are you implementing the waiting room at the same time?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially for any big, bigger like Pato or Jose or the Poets of the Sacred Fire. Even Uncle Raul, any of those. We want to be a little bit protective, even though sometimes Jose says, take it off. If I see one Zoom bomber, I just put it on. It's like, I don't even listen.
So I was going to say, so one of the things that we've started doing with our couples group is that after 15 minutes, I just lock the room because we just don't want people coming in late.
And I'll put that on the hosting thing. Once you're in, and we can let people know, not necessarily on the digest, but in terms of hosts, just saying that after 15 minutes, no.
I wouldn't want to do that on the Residence Lounge, I don't
Not in
think.
the Residence Lounge.
No, but even on the Healing Field, people would drop in and they're like, I just got the number. I wanted to check it in the middle of programs. I want to drop in on Pato if I can, after a meeting, come late, or people drop in all the time and it doesn't feel disruptive.
So it has been disruptive, and I had to do it I had to do it last Saturday, and it felt great. So again, I know what you're saying, Julie, but like the healing field, you're not doing it, or you're not even doing that anymore anyway. But it's, it really depends on the energy, and I don't think we're going to have to do that. I know what you're saying, like, no, you shouldn't be locking it down for a Zoom room or the residence lounge. And I don't think we're going to have to do that anymore, but I think that's, and I would only say it to us as the advisory council, if we,
I
as
think you might offer it as an option to group leaders, like it's appropriate for Glenn's. So he has that option. So in your documents, that's one thing. If your group is coalescing into something for the hour, you can, but most things it won't. You wouldn't probably need to do it.
yeah, and we're hoping, in the way I feel about it from watching everything, if we change the password and it's not put out on Facebook, people, that we're going to be fine. That we don't really need to lock the rooms. But I did do it on Saturday. I totally did.
In our password 441444, is there a
So
sacredness to this number, or did you do a little research on the sacred, whatever we got? It's a
well,
free number.
I'll tell you, it came from Jose asked for that number.
Okay.
And because I've been working with him, and I trust he hasn't responded to me, because I just said, okay, come on, what's the meaning behind this? He didn't respond, but I know it's part of a timekeeper Mayan calendar. So
Perfect.
like, if he requested it, like, big deal, just let it for now. Anyway.
That's great. No, I just was, the type of numbers that have little stories behind them. So that's a great thing, I think.
I've been on the
444 it has to do with abundance.
Mhm.
So I don't
I'm
know.
all in.
I'll find out and I'll let you know.
I always thought 444 was your angels are watching out for you. They're all around you.
Hey,
All triples.
Like
The calendar piece. Is everybody okay with connectionfield.org and connectionfielddigest.org? We're good?
I'm good.
So I can link them tonight and have them point in the right direction?
Yep.
After this call. The calendar, the Google Calendar is such a spiffy thing, and yet I haven't been able to embed it. I can't embed it in the website on Nation Builder. And I think it's because of Nation Builder. So I got a hold of Nation Builder and asked them if they have, if there's any widget or app or something that they're working with, because we don't like their calendar. And I finally heard back from her, and they do not have it at this time. So saying that, I have a call into our potential webmaster who I trust explicitly. If we move over and migrate to a WordPress site, we can definitely have a really nice calendar, because there's all kinds of WordPress calendars available. Right now it's a Nation Builder thing. So that's an issue, Shell, because we've got to get that up and going.
can I ask you one quick question in terms of this?
Yeah.
So can't we, how like we can add a page, a page in from Constant Contact on our website? Is there any way that we can do that with our own calendar?
WordPress. Well,
Yeah.
what I was thinking is, even before we migrate to WordPress, is have Scott put up a WordPress site that's just the one page right now.
That's what I'm talking.
And then that's the link, which is connectionfield.org. And that's a tab on Good of the Whole. And it's in a WordPress, so it looks different. And then we put up a really cool calendar inside that. And that would be our first step toward migrating away. Now, it will cost us, it's going to cost us $400 a year more to have that until we migrate our whole thing over. But Nation Builder right now is only $29 a month. So it doesn't seem like it's a terrible expense to work with us in the ease of transitioning now. So that's an option. It's just a little more pricey.
Plus, it's a way to move, into.
Well, I could begin building that site behind the scenes once it's there I could literally then take my time, if you're all okay with it, and I could rebuild the website but just have that one page live that's on Nation Builder right now. And then we have the WordPress and we can start migrating, or Scott can start doing it. So it seems like a good next step. It seems like an important next step. Especially
Yeah, I'd say go there as fast as you can.
I mean, we definitely need the calendar ASAP. We know that. So that would be the first step. Just
another thing is, yeah, even the store, the education component. I mean, there's lots of things that will be more efficacious with a WordPress site.
so, but right from
So
now,
what you're saying, you'd need to get the WordPress site. Do the first thing would be the calendar, and you'd pull that over onto this current site. But it gives you that site to start populating, and then as things, yeah, got it.
it would still look like it's on Good of the Whole. It's not like coming
Got it.
off Good of the Whole. It means that we just have an
Yeah, your domain name can just slide over to that once you got it all ready.
Well, the problem will be, so here's the one thing, is you go to the connection field then. So let's just imagine now we're going to the Good of the Whole website right now on Nation Builder. And there's a tab that says connection field. Once you click on that, it will take you out of Nation Builder. So you can't just go up and find your tabs to go back and look for the mentoring stewards or someplace. So we'll have to migrate quickly so they have the functionality, because it takes you out of Nation Builder where everything else is built within Nation Builder.
But that's okay if it's just the calendar, right?
If it's just a calendar and not the connection field page, that would be okay.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Don't, because we have the connection field page already on Nation Builder until we're ready to migrate. But if it's just the calendar, then that's okay, because that's what they're using it for. They're looking for what's on that calendar.
Yeah, but
And
it,
directions
so
can be on that.
what we would do is have it open a new page, not transfer you to the page,
Do that.
so that your other tab is still open on your browser.
Right, and that's what we've been doing with when we've had a cover page. It's just like having a cover page, right?
Kind of.
Sort of. Okay, that's close enough.
And it would be a downloadable, printable calendar.
It depends on the app or widget we get through Scott. I'm sure he'll point me in the right direction. We can look at him. I think it needs to be visual. I think it needs to be colorful. I think, we have to have the functions of the, and actually
It could be. Why can't
it could be our Google Calendar. It might just be our Google Calendar,
Totally.
which will be fine then. The thing is the Google Calendar is attached to mine, and somehow Shelley got on my personal calendar
one time.
when I made it public. No, it's because I made Good of the Whole public. So there's got to be another security setting that we have to check out. We'll figure it out. If not, we'll rebuild a totally autonomous one.
Yeah. I say turn Scott on, go for it, full speed ahead.
Haha. All right. Is everyone?
Aha or aha?
Shelley,
Go.
would you mind giving us just the names of that team of 7 that are going to be working with you?
Jess from Florida. I can't think of what her last name is. Imani.
Oh, Jess from Florida, the young one.
Yep, young one. Imani. And right now I'll have to give you the list. But I can email this out. Robin from Texas, Henry Lepler, yourself.
Who?
Yourself. Well, we can talk about that, and we can talk about John because of the orientation. We'll talk. Oriana has offered, and Nihid ? And Sharon is helping. We're in this together.
So can I pick up a few more pieces that came through with everybody's shares and follow up?
Yeah, one more. Can I say one more thing? And
Yeah.
This is okay. And I haven't heard a response, Julie. And this is about. So we have to have that video, that lengthened video, to give Phil Lane, just so it can go to Unify, and it really should go by next week, like the latest. So that it really will support the integration of the connection field inside of Unity Week. So what do you need to extend that? Obviously, we know we need that list of people that Phil Lane wanted to give us. but we had talked about either you and me just doing a short clip, or, I mean, what do you want clearly so that we can make sure that that's done by next week, that little, additional piece.
So you have this schedule in your mind. I need to understand what your idea is, that the lengthened video goes to Unify for a sine wave?
No. So originally,
Unify for what? Unify is not even like, I mean, Unity Earth is Unity Week. So I'm not sure what you're saying about Unify.
okay,
And Chief Phil Lane, who doesn't even, yeah, I talked to him. I'll share that with you later. He didn't even know who to include. He didn't know if he should include the grandmothers and the chiefs, or if he should include the organizations and so
I can talk to him and we can collaborate. So basically, the reason I'm bringing this up is because originally, when the connection field just started, Phil Lane, I don't know if he came to both of us or to me, I can't even remember anymore, basically wanted to a small extension of a video, which would include Four Worlds Institute and whatever, the grandmothers of Europe, those people that he wanted to honor. And you and I had talked about having just a little clip, a forward clip possibly, of explaining the connection field, or just having us talk, and possibly not even having to have a couple of pieces in, people's whatever, little testimonials about the connection field. And Phil Lane had wanted that so that he was so excited about the connection field that he wanted to send it over to Unify, to Ben or whoever, so that they would show it. Or okay, well, anyway, this is what.
Well, no, Ben isn't Unify. So
He
okay.
wanted to send it over because he knew there was 100,000 people in Unify that had not seen this video, whatever that amount is, and that he wanted to offer that as his in his gratitude, or whatever. He was so excited about it that it would be it would give exposure to Good of the Whole and the connection field inside of a field that not very many people knew about, the connection field. Right. So that was it. And then we were waiting for his list, which never happened. But I think we need to actually hold him to it, because it's going to give us way more credibility and visibility. And if we were just to do it, then I could say to him, or you could say to him, or we could get on a phone call, say, okay, here you go, here it is, this is what you said you would do, and send it out. He wanted to make that video, and I'm feeling that this is June 1st. Unity Week starts on the 20th. We want it to go out next week so that people can understand the connection field and our relationship to whatever. Does that help? Does everybody understand that?
I think I followed you.
Yeah,
But
I think
what exactly are we doing for Unity Week?
No, that's separate. Hold on.
Okay.
Separate conversation, and Julie can answer that.
Okay.
But this is separate. This is just simply about getting video extended, which it is Julie. There's nobody else who's going to be able to do it. But we need to extend it, whatever, to 2.5 minutes. I don't care, whatever it is. I just feel like I want to hold. We have been doing so much for him, like huge amount all the time. This is the one thing he said he would do. So I want to hold him to it, whatever that.
Is it as simple as putting up some logos or the names of these organizations?
That's part of it. So the end of the video would have Good of the Whole. It would have a little bit clearer how to get to the connect. It would have that connection field digest link, and it would be honoring whoever the mentoring. It would be a little piece about the mentoring stewards. I don't know.
And partnering organizations.
And partnering organizations. Yes.
So we could narrate what it really is in the center, but I think the video kind of says it. Or we could do clips of testimonials of some of the people. If we had, say, 5 to 7 people sharing a 20-second, 30-second clip, and we've had it. We've all been on a call where someone's saying, the connection field has helped me, ...
Well,
so if they could be succinct and already cut, it would be really helpful, instead of, I can't do it on my computer right now. don't think I can get on. I don't think I could
I have-
download more. And
I have them. I mean, I think I might have enough. And Linda and Glenn and John, so here's how I'm doing it, just so that you might be able to pick up one if I'm not on your call. This is what I've been doing. As long as you're not recording the entire thing, which I would actually ask you to stop doing, do not send any more to the cloud, except this is how I'm doing it. Like when I know someone, in your groups who's going to come out with some amazing piece, like every time Cassandra gets on, but all we need is one clip, and I'll pull out the clips that I have and I'll send it to everybody. But you can go on, and all you got to do is, like when you see someone's coming up, you got to hit record on this computer or record and hit to the cloud. I'll clean it out, and just grab that 20-second clip. You can do it. I just start the recording, and then they'll go, and I'm complete. But if you can catch it before they say I'm complete, and stop the recording. Start and stop. Start and stop. Even if they might not be great, you'll catch one or two of those people that are, every time Robin, as an example, comes on. Now we only want one. But when she comes on, depending on her background and everything else, because that's important too. Anyway, I'm telling you, that's how you do it.
David's a good one. David.
I've got two.
But don't you already have like 3 to 5 and just use those? Because
I might.
we need
I
to
might.
do this now. We don't have time to go out and sort this out.
Yeah, it's really easy. You're tomorrow morning or
Well,
tonight
I'm not on,
when
I'm
you
not
go
on
on.
anything till tomorrow night. But anyway, just timing is all. You've got them, I
It's
think.
more the Resonance Lounge that you're going to hear it in. You're not going to hear it in the bigger programs. It's really just the Resonance
So
Lounge.
do you have 5 to 7 right now, Shell?
I might, yeah. I'll go look. So, and if I need some more, I'll just let you know. But
Yeah, I think
I
just
have,
what you've got. Let's use the inventory.
yeah. Or I'll just call you up and say, come on my Zoom and let's do a 20-second testimonial.
Yeah.
I know I have Linda. I think I have John. Might have.
I remember you did that with the mentoring stewards at one point. So I remember being on a call where you did clips.
Yeah. So
I'll
just do it first to see if I have enough clips, and I think it would be great if they were the advisory council. Yeah, I'll go look. So to save everybody, I might.
And this is for going into this whatever video is. I don't know what field it is.
connection
This
field
is-
video, right? That you're talking about expanding.
Yeah.
Just a little connection field clip. That
So
video.
We'll keep the 1.5 video just for the sake of, or the minute.